Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. This is going to be a short, quick lesson. All right. Going into, just because an Israelite foreigner doesn't believe or doesn't accept this word doesn't make them a heathen. Okay. And vice versa. Just because a heathen might be cordial with you, all right, that doesn't make them an Israelite. Okay. Now, because that goes into being spiritual and judging the outward appearance, as well as let me just pull this precept here. Try the spirit. Okay. And then so that's something you got to keep in mind when dealing, because hey, Israel is the biggest nation, man. All right. And being that we've been scattered everywhere, Israel makes up really a big portion of these quote unquote other nations, and I'm talking about Israelite foreigners living in these foreign lands. All right. Goodness, our spirit. All right, so this is First John chapter 4, verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets are going out into the world. And applying this to the topic, all right, at hand, you have to try the spirit. All right, try their spirit. Now, there's a difference between trying somebody's spirit to see if they're of the elect, or trying somebody's spirit to see if they're an Israelite. Okay, there's a difference between the two, and that's not to get mixed up, all right, or confused, because the same way you have Israelites, all right, that look like Israelites that don't believe, is the same way you're going to have Israelites that look like heathens, Israelite foreigners that also don't believe. All right. Now, just because they don't believe, that doesn't make them any less an Israelite. Okay. This is Romans 8:16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. All right. So, like I said, once again, applying that to the situation, you can tell when somebody's an Israelite. You can tell by the way they move, the way they vibe, because we as men of the Lord, all right, having our the ability to discern spirits. Okay, some are better at it than others, but we're able to read spirits to a level. Okay, so you can tell if somebody's a heathen or if somebody's an Israelite foreigner. Okay, by the spirit that they carry, because majority of us have been around Israelites all our life, so you can tell when somebody has that flavor, or that the way they move. Okay, the way they talk, the way they, just their mindset, like how the stupid shit they do. There's certain stupid things that when somebody does, you can tell only Jake would do some stupid shit like that. Nonetheless, you can tell through the spirit if somebody's a heathen or not. And also vice versa. Just because you might have a heathen that's cordial with you or that's cool with you doesn't make them an Israelite. Cyrus, the scriptures called Cyrus the Lord's anointed. That didn't make King Cyrus. That didn't make him an Israelite. Yeah, he set the decree. He gave the decree for Jake to go back and rebuild. But that's because the Lord put the spirit on him to do that. That doesn't make him an Israelite. Okay. Darius, Nebuchadnezzar, just because they reverence the Most High, all right, through the power that he had shown forth, does not make them an Israelite. Okay, so just because somebody, or Hiram, okay, when he went and got the resources, he helped Solomon build, all right, brought the resources necessary. Just because they were in league with you, or they were helping you, or you're on good terms, does not make them any less of a heathen and any more of an Israelite, because that's by blood. Okay, you can be at peace with somebody, but don't get it twisted. He might be an Israelite, Just because what? Because he lent you $1 or what? Just because he's nice to you? No. Okay, and vice versa. If somebody is bucking up against you, or they're not trying to hear what you're trying to say, don't let that cloud your ability to discern whether they're still an Israelite or not. Okay, because yes, you will have 2/3 amongst the Israelite foreigners. Not every single Israelite foreigner is of the elect. That means that you're going to have Israelite foreigners, right, which are Israelites that look like heathens, that don't accept this word. Now, the scriptures say, cast them off as an heathen man, but by blood, by nationality, they're still an Israelite. But they're just no different than an Israelite that looks like an Israelite, like a so-called Negro who rejects the word. And then you have a Israelite that looks like an Elamite or a Chinese person that rejects the word. They're both Israelites. They're just both Israelites that rejected the word. However, one just looks like a heathen. Okay? Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. Okay? And applying this prophetically, man, this applies not just to the Israel that look like Israelites, but even to Israelites that don't look like Israelites. Okay? Don't let your emotions, he pissed me off, so he's a heathen. Just because he looks like a heathen, when I was talking to him at first, he was getting it. So he might have been an Israelite, though you can see the way he talks, the way he's rebuttaling, his swag and everything. But because he pissed you off, automatically he's a heathen. You're not being spiritual. And that's why I said there's a difference between discerning who's an Israelite and discerning of who's a possible elect. Okay? Just because somebody's an Israelite doesn't necessarily make them of the elect. Okay? So, and here's an example, man. This is Acts chapter 17 and 22, because the Apostle Paul, he was going all over, all over, traveling, going to different parts, all right, of the known world, preaching to the Israelites living in those lands. Now, did all of them get it? No. You had some of them that came against him. But nonetheless, was he going around just say, oh, they're heathens, they're heathens? No. They were Israelites that came against Paul, Israelite foreigners that came against Paul. Okay, Israelites that lived in foreign lands that came against Paul. Israelites that lived in foreign lands who, when they were taught the gospel, they said, nah, I ain't with that. I still want to do what I want to do. By blood, they're still Israelites. Okay, but they're just not of the elect. So this is Acts 17 and 22. Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said, ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious. Now, Paul was speaking to Israelites, but they were Israelites living in Athens. All right. It says, for as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with this inscription, to the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship. Him declare I unto you. The Most High that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands, neither is worshipped with men's hands, as though he needed anything, seeing he giveth life to all, and breath and all things, and have made one of blood, and have made of one blood all nations of men, for to dwell on all the face of the earth, and hath determined the times before appointed, and bound and the bounds of their habitation, that they should seek the Lord, if haply they might feel after him and find him, though he be not far from any one of us. For in him we live and move and have our being, as certain also of your own poets have said, for we are also his offspring. And then he goes in and goes in and goes in. All right, we're almost at the end. Because that's where the point is going to be at. Acts 17 and 30. And the times of this ignorance, the Most High winked at, but now commandeth every man everywhere to repent. And that's talking about Israelites. All right. Because he hath appointed a day in which he will judge the world in righteousness, by what man whom he hath ordained, or Slakia, by that man whom he hath ordained, that was Yahushai, whereof he hath given assurance unto that um all men, in that he hath raised them from the dead. Once again, talking about Yahushai, because he was preaching the resurrection of Yahushai. And when they heard the resurrection of the dead, some mocked, and others said, we will hear thee again of this matter. You know, so, and they were Israelites. Some was like, oh, nah, you wilding right now. Or I don't know. So we got zombies walking around, stupid shit, right? And others said, we will hear thee again of this matter. We hear what you're saying. We'll talk again, because they had taken to Mars Hill. Usually that's the area where they would give like announcements and all that. So after Paul had preached, you had some that they were like, nah, I'm not with this. Some were like, yeah, whatever. And it says, so Paul departed from among them, howbeit certain men clave unto him and believed, among that which was Dionysius the Areopagite, and a woman named Damaris, and others with them. Okay, so amongst them Israelite foreigners, you had Israelites that clave unto Paul and believed his gospel, and you had Israelites that were like, nah, we don't believe it. When you go to Ephesus, you had Israelites there worshiping Diana. They said, we don't care what you're saying. We're not trying to hear this. They started a whole uproar, man. Okay. They said, look, man, we are Diana is our God and all that extra stuff. You had Israelites doing that. So not all Israelites in Ephesus believed on the gospel. All right. So just because, I'm going to say it again, just because you have an Israelite foreigner, an Israelite that looks like one of another nation, but is not, okay, because Israel is the biggest nation. So wherever we were scattered, you're going to have a big portion of Israelites among them. But there's always a difference. Don't let the outward appearance fool you, man. Okay, you're going to have an Israelite that looks Chinese. He got the eyes, he got he talks like everything. But within him, the spirit within him is of an Israelite. That is what makes him different. So once again, you're going to have Israelites that are Israelite foreigners that don't agree with this word. They don't understand. They don't believe. That doesn't mean that they're heathen just because they don't believe. They would fall into the category of a 2/3 one that's going to be destroyed. But in the kingdom, they'll be back as an Israelite. And on the same token, you might have a heathen that might try to be cordial with you, try to deal with you, But you have to really try their spirit, because just because they're being nice to you or they're being cordial with you does not mean that they're an Israelite. Just because they gave you something free for once does not mean that they're an Israelite. Okay, but it's all about discerning through the spirit, man. We use this word to discern who's of the elect. Okay. But hey, it's all through the spirit, man. So I just wanted to do that quick lesson. Okay, Lord willing, it was edifying to the elect. And hey, man, this place is through, man. Like, yo, here it is. You got things happening in the world, but you got our people that what they want to talk about is fun. They want to talk about fun. They're telling you, no, say something fun. I don't want to hear about this the real world. I don't want to hear about the protests that are going on around the world. I don't want to hear about World War III that's brewing in the Middle East. I don't want to hear about this economy that's doing bad. The economy is doing great, as a matter of fact. Our people are in a deep, deep, deep sleep, man. And you know what? The house is burning down, and they're in a deep sleep. And if you try to stay there and keep trying to wake them up, you're gonna burn with them, man, because they're not waking up. All right, they just been hit with horse tranquilizer, so they're gone, man. They're gonna be out for a minute. All right. But nonetheless, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, this was edifying unto the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Until next time, shalom.